episode number 8 of the Kayfabe Crusaders.
Ocho nuevo. What does that mean?
That's 8-9.
Oh. Ocho.
Oh, actually, it's ocho nueve.
Oh my god.
Nuevo would be like new. This is the new episode, so new number 8.
Ah, so I was right.
You were right. Way to go, gringo. So Kayfabe Crusaders, Base God.
And J-Dub.
Alright, so we are going to be previewing the Payback pay-per-view that's coming up.
Payback pay-per-view. The previous Raw.
Couple of Raws that we...
Couple of Raws, we kind of smashed them all together.
Little mashup.
Little mashup. And then a Monster Mash. And then we do a little bit of Elimination Chambers. Did you already say that?
No, not yet.
Okay, Elimination Chamber.
I mean, it's really hard to keep track of things that we say in 15-second increments.
It is.
And we've already taken Alpha Brain, so no excuses.
Oh man, my brain's messed up then.
that Steve Austin's full of shit, man. But this is episode number 8. Sit back, relax, get a couple Steve Weisers, swig of water for the working man here.
Swig of
what we got here?
What do we have?
Yeah, sparkling
water. Swig of.
Because we're heels, so.
What is it? Swig of Soda Stream for the working man.
Oh, this is straight Soda Stream? Oh, I thought this is Pellegrino. Oh.
No, straight Soda Stream. Dude.
I like
gotta
it.
get one.
I gotta get one. All right, well.
Sponsored by Soda Stream and Alpha Brain. On it.
On it. There we go. So we will be right back with the episode number 8. Kayfabe Crusaders.
Yeah, you know me. Mother, I could charge a $2 transaction fee. Makes my payment short, my rent comes back to me. Minus a $25 penalty. So you feed me, cause of your motherfucking fee.
No, I gotta get some. It was because I would see them and I'd be like, nah, I can't pull that off.
Or you could try to pull them off. You could pull them off my face and put them on yours.
Oh, that's true.
And that's how we open this episode of
this
Kayfabe
is weird.
Crusaders. We're just talking about each other's specs. That's all.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch, baby.
Can you ever leave unprepared?
Never.
So we are back with another episode. This is, I think, what is this, episode 8, I believe?
Episode 8, and I don't know, like, it's been a while.
It's been a while, like Aaron Lewis once told us.
Aaron Lewis, good old...
It's been a while.
Anytime anyone ever says that phrase, I think of that song, and I blame Aaron Lewis wholeheartedly.
So we're glad that you're here with us.
Thank you for joining.
Because not too many people joined us last time. That's okay.
That's all right. We knew it was gonna happen.
I mean, to be honest, it wasn't our best work.
No, we lost our smile.
But now we're back.
We're back, and we're
here to take out Triple H.
Yep, and we got God on our side.
So this is our big preview for the WWE Payback pay-per-view.
Ooh, Payback is
Oh yeah, it's a Stephanie McMahon.
It's a Stephanie McMahon, as Chris Jericho would say. But anyway,
that was a good little sit-down interview with the two of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was cool.
It was nice just seeing her be herself, which is cool.
Yeah.
I still love her so much.
I know you got a thing.
I like those women with power.
Yeah, you do. Never mind. Forget it.
Neither here nor there.
It's gonna get a little too personal.
We're still in the single digits on this podcast. We need to let something go for the anniversary show. So we are here. We got Base God and J-Dub.
That's right. J-Dub is right here.
He is right here, and he has stuck us in with some Alpha Brains.
Oh, we got some Alpha Brains, and it's not like a sponsor or anything, but I just enjoy them.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any sponsors.
Feel free
to send us some money here.
We'll talk the shit out of your product.
We don't care what it is.
No, I don't.
We have Hitler mouth mints. We love them.
Yeah. Oh no, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. That was the last episode.
You two just pulled us.
So we had a lot of stuff coming up leading into Payback. A few Raws. This is a quick pay-per-view. It's only 3 weeks from the last one. So
right.
They're moving really fast. But I think Raw's been, for the most part, pretty good.
I thought this last episode was awesome.
I myself really liked the one before it more. But yeah, both of them were good Raws. We had, kind of like what we were talking about last time, about the John Cena Open Challenge. How it's cool that's like every week the title's getting defended.
Right. From the beginning, we were talking about bringing legitimacy to those titles, Intercontinental and United States, and what have they done in full effect? That's exactly what they've done. Yeah,
at least for the U.S. title.
Yeah.
Like last week, or this past week, we had Neville coming in, challenging for the belt,
right?
Which was great.
Yeah.
I like the finish with Rusev getting in the way of it.
It was definitely one of my favorite moments because you know why? I mean, my girl's back in the game. You know,
she has a face turn coming, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be weird. Like, what are they gonna do? Are they going to?
She's not gonna be Russian anymore.
Is she just gonna drop the accent?
I don't know.
Because that could be a little weird.
Yeah, it might be. But I mean, who cares? As long as she's back.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And Neville had his awesome Neville spots as he always does, and finally gets to do it on the main roster where people can actually see it instead of just the internet wrestling community on his jock.
I know, man. What do you think? What do you think they're gonna do with him? I mean, because this was kind of like, yeah, get out there, show me your stuff, but you're not part of the bigger picture in this.
I think that's fine. Like, continue to build him up. He doesn't have to be the guy yet.
Yeah. Wait for the right time.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
spot.
the good thing is that he's having quality matches every time he goes out there. It's one of the match of the night.
Right.
The crowd loves everything that's on his side.
Right.
I think they're doing it right where he's not like an undefeated guy, but he goes out there and every match he shows heart.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's the easy way to win the crowd over.
Right.
That's the same thing they did with Sami Zayn. Like, they brought it 2 weeks ago when they brought in Sami Zayn. That was so perfect. Like, guaranteed he's going to have a huge pop because it's in his hometown.
Right.
You have Bret Hart vouching for him. And he comes out and he just, like, he has that shoulder injury that he kind of just plays off and like, you know what, I'm going to keep going out there. I'm going to do my thing. So he looks like a hero.
Yeah.
Has a clean loss against John Cena, but that doesn't even matter. Just because the way that everything built the momentum, John Cena gave him like his moment after the match. That's the best thing about John Cena right now is he's, even though, you know, he'll win some, he'll lose some, but he's always putting over this younger talent.
Yeah, he's not like a Hogan type where he doesn't want to put someone over, you know?
Yeah, I mean, every open challenge match has been pretty cool. They all had nice moments.
And it's nothing to do with a face or a heel thing, so anybody can go against John Cena. And that's what's cool, because a lot of times you'll just see, like, okay, we have to make a super heel out of somebody so they can go against John Cena, right? So it's cool that just anybody can come out. Yeah. It gives anybody a chance to show their stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, it's that excitement. It's kind of like when you watch the Royal Rumble, and you have that countdown, and it's like 10, 9, and everyone gets into it because they want to see who's the next person coming out.
You have no idea.
Yeah, and that's what's cool. It's like every week we have that with the John Cena Challenge. Like, all right, who's he going to wrestle this time?
Right, and it's cool because, I mean, it gives John Cena a chance to wrestle with all sorts of people because, I mean, I'm tired of seeing him wrestle Rusev, to be honest. Like, I think their I Quit match is going to be sweet. But, I mean, John Cena has good matches with anybody. And I think it's good. I think it's good that, especially the internet wrestling community, can see that again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they bash him all the time.
But, like, every night, or every Monday night, the "This is awesome" chant's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can say, well, yeah, you know, it's because he's fighting Neville, he's fighting Sami Zayn, Dean Ambrose. Like, yeah, those are great guys, but, you know, you have to have a good dance partner. And John Cena is the kind of guy that will step up to a good wrestler.
No matter who he's going against. So.
Yeah. So that's always a fun highlight for every week.
Right.
We did mention Lana. I think that the face turn's going to come.
Right. What do you think is going to happen at the pay-per-view?
I think that John Cena is still going to go over. It's just going to be interesting how they do the I Quit with Rusev. Like, how is he going to quit? Is it going to be like one of those matches, like, I don't know if you remember back when it was Bob Backlund versus Bret Hart, and it was a throw in the towel match.
Right.
And it was Bret Hart's mom and dad in his corner, and Owen in Bob Backlund's. And
Bret's mom?
Yeah, Bret's mom threw the towel in.
With the chicken wing? Cross-faced chicken wing?
Exactly. I don't know if it's going to be something like that. I don't know if Lana even has any jurisdiction in the match, but logic never really needs to happen. But maybe she's the reason why Rusev ends up quitting.
I think that might be it. Or what if it's the other way around? Like, because I think Rusev might do something terrible to Lana at that pay-per-view, right? What if that's the reason why Cena loses? Like, let's say, I don't know, he's about to do something terrible to her. I don't know, like, maybe he's got her in the Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to think like outside
in that
the box.
pantsuit.
Yeah,
this is PG era, man.
Yeah, I know.
You have everything popping out.
That'd be awesome.
That would be the ravishing Russian at her best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do that. What else?
They'll probably just do a classic thing where they start fighting each other, like not fighting but bickering. Mm-hmm. But then that's kind of the way a heel would win, is if a manager and somebody are bickering, and then he like picks up on it, and takes advantage of it. So I don't know. It's kind of tough to.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they get out of that one, because it's supposed to be the last fight in their little battle.
Right. It's got to be used to turn Lana though, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why I think that John Cena is going to go over, because there's a lot more to gain with Cena still being champion. Because
all those other matches they can have.
Yeah, you can have that. Still continue to do the every week open challenge, which keeps the program exciting. Mm-hmm. And then you're still going to get something out of Rusev because him and Lana are going to split. So then you can start to build a story around that. Mm-hmm. So I think if Rusev goes back with the title, then it's like, okay, well, John Cena, now what is he going to do? Yeah. Like, now they have to find another spot for him.
Right. And it'll knock someone else out of wherever they're at.
Yeah, I think it's more beneficial for him to keep the title right now.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And then, see, when they did the whole thing with Sami Zayn a couple weeks ago, and they had Bret Hart come out, that was awesome. Like, it's always cool to see Bret Hart come out, but it seems like if they're in Montreal, it's almost a guarantee he's going to be there.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, he's always going to be associated with Montreal because of the screw job thing. I was listening to Chris Jericho's podcast. I was catching up on some stuff, and they were talking about the Monday Night Wars. It was the debate with Bischoff and Pritchard.
Oh, okay.
And they're recalling like all the stuff about that, and they're talking about the screw job. And as everybody who listens to this podcast regularly knows, my favorite piece of wrestling history is the Montreal screw job.
It's got to be everybody's. That's just the greatest thing that ever happened to wrestling.
And Bischoff was talking about his like take on that, which I never considered, because Brett was talking to Bischoff like, hey, so what do you think I should do?
Right.
Like, should I bring the belt with me? Should I do this? Like, and Bischoff was saying how during that period of time he was getting sued for so much stuff that he's like,
oh yeah, WWE.
Yeah, he's like, so he's just didn't want, it's not worth it. Just drop the title. Like, we don't need the title to come with you, sort of deal. It was just interesting to take, like...
Because, I mean, then it was Brett did screw Brett kind of thing. Like, it was his decision.
It was his decision alone.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, I love hearing all the little things about the screw job.
I mean, it's never going to end, and we're never going to know what exactly happened. I mean, not exactly what happened, but what everyone was thinking. Because I don't hear a lot about... I don't know. The more, as time goes on, you hear more about how Brett really did not want to just drop the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, he's not as much of an innocent in the situation as when it first happened.
Right. He might just be someone just as stubborn as Vince McMahon is. Or,
You gotta remember, he's a promoter's son, too.
Yeah, that's true.
He knows the ins and outs of the business.
That's true.
What was another takeaway you had from Raw that like popped out to you?
The pin by Cesaro. Cesaro's pin. That pin was so awesome. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was cool. Well, I don't even know what that was.
It is weird.
Some weird cradle?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. That was something I wanted to bring up because I was like, what the hell? What a way to win.
Yeah. The whole, like, the feud that's going on with, like, Cesaro and Kid versus the New Day. And let's back up real quick.
Yeah.
Fucking New Day.
Yeah, I know.
How, like, we've been saying that there are boys.
Right.
What I like so much is that the WWE has kind of been proving us right.
Yeah.
For the last few weeks.
It's true.
So anyone that listens to us, I mean,
they know
we have a good track record here. We predicted Seth.
Did we say something about like a double turn with the New Day and Cesaro and Kid? Because Cesaro and Kid, technically, they're heels, right?
Well, and that's the weird thing. Right now, they're in a period of time where Cesaro and Kid have kind of become baby faces without actually making a babyface turn. Same thing with the Bella Twins. Right. The Bella Twins are kind of baby faces, even though They haven't done anything to do that just because they're going against a more hated heel.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same, with this tag team. But that's the only thing that kind of bothers me. But I do think the tag team division is so much in a better place right now. We had the reuniting of Rowan and Harper.
Yes.
Which I think is cool. There's a couple ways.
Great, and it should have stayed that way.
That's what I think too. They shouldn't have split them up. My theory is the reason why they're back together is mainly because the Usos are out for a while.
Yeah, they need more tag team. Mm-hmm. Same with the Axelmania
and Macho Mandow.
Macho Mandow. That's such a weird thing to say, but I think they should be a tag team, man.
I mean, you might as well
at least for a little bit.
They could be the comedy until the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But and they brought back the primetime players.
Right.
Which is cool. That split never made any sense to me. Because they weren't established enough to where anybody cared.
Right. So they just must have tried to toss them out or something.
Yeah. But so you have kind of jumping ahead for the Elimination Chamber, which is going to be in a couple weeks. That's going to be a quick turnaround. They're talking about doing a 6-team Elimination Chamber match, Texas Tornado style.
Yeah, that's cool.
So they haven't announced the teams yet, but my theory is 6 teams we would have New Day, Cesaro and Kid, Harper and Rowan, the Ascension. They would also have who else would they throw in there? Primetime players.
And what about the
and maybe
Lucha?
Oh yeah, the Lucha Dragons.
Yeah, Lucha Dragons.
Now the best way to do that is you have the Lucha Dragons start the match.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be because you're gonna have that high flying stuff right away. If they start with Cesaro and Kid.
Yeah.
You'd have classics
That'd be awesome.
right away. And I mean, I think if the New Day retains the title, I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
And they just do it in a totally underhanded, skeezy way. Yeah. Keep the heat on them.
Yeah. I knew they were gonna go just heel, right?
They had to.
Were they doing that from the beginning? They weren't though, right? They wanted them to be.
Who knows? It might have been that they wanted them to be baby faces, and the guys themselves were like, "This sucks."
Yeah.
So let's just be
really obnoxious.
Yeah, just overdo it.
So
we get those boos, and eventually they'll have to turn us.
Right.
With them as heels is so much better. It's so entertaining.
Yeah, it's the best. And I feel like those guys have been faces for so long. It's just so good that they're heels.
When was the last time you can remember Kofi being a heel?
I don't think I ever. I didn't watch it if he was ever a heel. I mean,
Big E was a heel when he was with Ziggler. But he didn't really do much talking.
Yeah,
he was just the muscle.
Bodyguard, yeah.
And Xavier Woods is so charismatic. Did you see that ESPN thing?
No, that's what I wanted to bring up as well.
Yeah, I watched that.
Adam Rose.
It was cool, man.
People are rooting for Adam Rose now. What's his story? I don't know.
So the whole thing that started off was it was really big into his family, and he has a son that has a really bad medical condition. So they showed his son being fed through a tube and stuff like that. So it was more of tugging on the heartstrings sort of deal. And they showed some of his older gimmicks, like the Leo Kruger gimmick, which he came out looking like a bushwhacker kind of deal.
Yeah.
But it just showed how much heart that he has and how much he really wants.
They're gonna push him hard after that because that's mainstream push right there.
Oh yeah, it was cool because you got to see that. You got to see Xavier Woods, which was cool. Show his personality coming through. Really smart guy. Who else did they show in that episode? I think there was one other one.
Any divas?
But Bill DeMott was in there doing that whole thing. But it was good.
They didn't cut that out?
No, they didn't cut it out. And at the end of it, they kind of did a where are they now kind of deal. And they said he's exited because of all these accusations. Wow. But definitely worth watching. I don't think it's on ESPN's YouTube channel yet.
Oh, okay.
But it should be pretty close.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. That was something I had to check out.
Definitely good. But yeah, the tag team division as a whole, I think it's getting in a place to where the matches alone are borderline show stealers.
Right.
Every pay-per-view. It's just
can't
exciting.
Wait for the Wyatt family to be back.
Yeah, and let's see if they can still fill some more holes with other teams, but where they're at right now, I think is a really good place.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, since we started, since not this last WrestleMania, but the WrestleMania before, the division has grown so much. Because before it was just really...
It was 4 teams.
Yeah, it was the Rhodes brothers, and it was just whatever. And it didn't. I wouldn't count the Shield and the Wyatt family in that either, because they were doing triple threat.
Yeah, everything was 6-man tags.
Yeah.
But the other big thing from Raw was Daniel Bryan making the announcement.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's the headline kind of stuff, that he's relinquishing the title. Total deja vu stuff, man.
Yeah, isn't that terrible?
He has a great WrestleMania moment, and then he can't capitalize on it.
Yeah.
It's very likely that
he won't ever wrestle.
He's done.
What was the MRI? What was it?
It's constant problems with his neck.
Right.
Which that's the scariest thing. You can't. You can't fudge anything with that.
Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm. Lita, had that. Neck's no joke, but he's putting the title down, which that looks like it's going to be defended Elimination Chamber as well. 6 people vying for it.
That was a good person to put the King of Ring on too.
Yeah, I was rooting. I was rooting for Neville. I would have loved Neville, but if you're bringing it back, you have that heel do it, and he just plays it up so obnoxious.
The king.
Because if
Booker,
Neville,
Owen, they were all the kings, and they just.
But if it would have been Neville, it would have been cool in that moment. Yeah. But then it would have been gone the next week.
Unless they made a thing the new kid, he's taking people out.
But a heel will remind you every week that he's the king.
Right. Exactly. Without.
Yeah. So it was a good decision. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if they do that 6-man for it, who would you put in?
So there would be
for the IC
Ziggler,
belt. Okay. Wade
Barrett. We can't do Daniel Bryan. He's done. Shoot, who else was in that?
Well, in the ladder match was Harper, but he's going to probably be in the tag one. R-Truth, which I don't think they're going to end up putting in there.
They gave him that. They gave him the WrestleMania moment.
Stardust, which I don't know.
Stardust, maybe.
Maybe, but he hasn't really been doing much. Right. He had that. I mean, him and R-Truth had that stupid little match with the whole spiders thing, and that was so horrible. It's just way too gimmicky.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's 2.
Does it have to be 6 people?
Yeah, Elimination Chamber, man.
Well, then they might, just to fill in, throw in R-Truth.
I mean, because you can also put in Neville. I think Neville should be in there.
So far we have Wade Barrett. Oh, Ambrose.
He's in the main. He's in the main picture right now. So Barrett, Ziggler, Neville, Sheamus. And then maybe do something.
Get some new people.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Cesaro, but they're probably tagged.
Yeah, I'll be tagged. That's the thing. A lot of the guys that were in the hunt for that, they're putting in the tag match.
Yeah. Are they gonna do some
Maybe they'll do Stardust.
Random heels or something.
Yeah, because we have Barrett, Sheamus, 2 heels.
Ziggler.
And Neville, 2 faces. So one of each still.
Yeah.
To be determined. We'll see how that goes with the weeks.
What about Bray Wyatt?
Maybe Bray Wyatt. That's actually not a bad idea.
And Ryback. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who would you see walking away in that scenario with the belt?
I don't see Bray Wyatt being a champion, Intercontinental champion.
See, but he should go through the ranks.
He should.
Out of that grouping, I think that.
I think Wade Barrett should win it.
I'm leaning towards Sheamus.
Do you think he should, or is that who you want, or is that who you think they'll put it on?
That's who I think would have the most potential. He came back. He should be back as the monster heel, and they're doing the double way feud between him and Wade against Neville and Ziggler.
Oh yeah.
So like you can still have like a fatal 4-way match, or you can still build off a couple more pay-per-views with that. I mean, same thing with Wade Barrett.
What was it? He attacked Ziggler, right?
Yeah. After the Kiss My Arse match.
Yeah.
But if you have the belt on Sheamus, then if you're doing the pairings, you have the King of the Ring and the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
So I think that way would make some sense. But we'll see who the
Sheamus
six is.
and Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
That would make sense. That is two heels, but also I think people like Wade Barrett.
Well, I mean, like them, like, because doing it's almost like a tag team opposition against Dolph and Neville. So you have like a champion and a king on one side, and you have just the peons.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, that one I would like to watch that because I don't know what they would do.
Yeah, it's so open.
Would be fine.
It's so open now that Daniel Bryan's going to be out. Which sucks. It sucks that he's gone again.
Yeah. Maybe for good.
But that kind of just shows, like, what if, like, the whole thing that was happening with Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania, like, what if they would have caved and just been like, fine, put the goat in, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it'd be screwed 2 times in a row. Yeah. Same deal. Like, hindsight's always 20/20, but
yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, he got his big WrestleMania moment and he got his belt.
WrestleMania 30, you can never take that away from him.
No way.
So even if he doesn't have another
30,
match,
that's a big one. 30, and it was the fans that got him it. So it's probably more important than a lot of handed to people who were just handed the belt. He's changed the decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was so damn good that the audience changed the industry's decision.
Yeah, unprecedented.
Yeah.
So let's just take like a really quick break, then let's do a full preview of Payback. We'll go match by match, say how we think the outcomes are going to go.
Yeah, maybe different scenarios.
Yeah, so we'll be right back with more Kayfabe Crusaders.
The distant future, the year 2000. The distant future, the year 2000. The distant future, the distant future.
All right, we are back. You're listening to the Kayfabe Crusaders. I'm your boy J-Dub.
And the Bass God here. So we're going to talk about Payback coming up, which it's this weekend. So if you're listening to this as it comes out, then it's before. We should have this out being Friday. So let's just go match by match. So,
all right, what's the first one?
So let's talk about the Divas situation.
Okay.
So you got the Bellas versus Naomi and Tamina.
Oh, okay.
I like the dynamic of Naomi and Tamina because Naomi is so good at being a heel.
Yeah, she is.
Because she's just like, she's showing her brute force. And then you have Tamina, who's even stronger than her.
Right.
And Naomi's a better talker than Tamina is, but...
Yeah. But, I mean, you don't need to be that talker if you're just going to be the muscle,
Yeah. So, in that scenario, I like the heels going over in the... And here's the other thing. They're both technically heels still. I don't take the Bellas at being faces. But I think Naomi and Tamina going over is good because then that can lead to an actual Divas Championship match.
Right.
Which we haven't had. Like, this is another pay-per-view without that championship being defended. Like, the whole...
Right.
It's weird.
It's too much. And also, I feel the Bellas have won enough. It's time for them to lose.
Yeah. Naomi she's really, really good in the ring for the most part. She had a couple weeks ago a really heinous match. But for the most part, she's good. She's athletic. And just with that mean streak, like with having the Usos out for a while, it gives her a chance to kind of develop herself.
Yeah.
Because she's really just become like a third Uso.
Yeah.
Like the Uso cheerleader.
Right.
Now she can kind of like find her own character and I think it's cool.
Butt bump thing she does.
Exactly. What's it called? The rear view?
Is that what it's called? That's a good name.
With her big old East Bay booty.
That's right.
So yeah, I think Naomi and Tamina will go over on that one. And And then after that, there's the New Day versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. And that one's a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Oh, that's going to be good.
I think that that's great.
That potentially match of the night.
So I certainly hope this is the show opener.
Yeah.
They give them a good amount of time. I think back to the Cesaro Sami Zayn NXT 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yeah.
And that was great because like the first fall came like within a minute and a half. Like it was so quick and it was shocking. And then from there it was just like a war between the guys. And I think that a 2 out of 3 match can be booked a couple different ways. I forgot what match it was. I want to say it was Ziggler and I'm blanking on the opponent. But it was a 2 out of 3 falls.
Was it recent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a 2 out of 3 falls match where...
Was it Ziggler and Cesaro?
Maybe, but it was only 2 falls. You didn't go to the third fall.
Yeah.
I loved that because you don't ever see that.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of potential that they can do. And I also wonder, like, maybe actually, I just thought of this right now. What if the New Day, since they're kind of like the Freebirds of our generation, this is how I would book it.
Right.
Because they're heels, right? So I would have the New Day win the first fall, and then they would lose the second fall, and on the third fall, whoever the third man on the outside is switches places with somebody. Because like all 3 of them are the team.
Right.
That's a total heel move. You have a fresh guy who hasn't been wrestling, and then you get the victory. Right. And that's how the New Day keeps their belts.
Right. Yeah, because I think they're going to hold on to the belts. Anyway.
Yeah. And then if you do it that way, then that can be a good lead-in into the Elimination Chamber. Where it's like, well, now you only have 2 guys that can be in there. Like the third guy can't even be in the chamber. So then...
so
I think
gives a reason to...
Yeah, I think it's a cool scenario, actually. Just
thought of it yourself just now.
Boom.
Oh,
just
wow,
clicked.
good job.
On the fly booking.
I like that. Yeah, who do you think would do the switcheroo? It would have to be Xavier and Kofi, right?
Yeah, so like maybe Kofi and Big E are in the match, and then Kofi, like he gets out, and then Xavier takes his place maybe.
Right.
Because I would think that it would start off with Xavier on the outside, because he's a really good mouthpiece.
Yeah.
So he can be doing the yelling, the hooping and hollering, the shucking and jiving all on the outside.
Easy.
And then he could switch in, and Kofi just goes on the outside.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just does a nice little heel roll outside.
Exactly.
I like that.
So that's how I predict that's going to go down.
I don't have anything better than that. So
I think that'll be kind of cool. We'll see how that goes. After that is Ryback and Bray Wyatt. I have no real I'm not excited for this.
Well, the thing is, people are getting behind Ryback a little bit, but I don't see him going anywhere after.
I'm not a Ryback fan.
Neither am I really.
I think that
he's dangerous.
Where was I? I think I was at Milo's Wrestling World here in San Jose. Free plug. They have all sorts of wrestling memorabilia.
Yeah.
And they had you've seen my my CM Punk Vince McMahon dual pack?
Yeah.
So they had one, and it was CM Punk and Ryback.
Oh no.
And I was like, I want to buy this just so I can
That is funny.
Just to have it.
Took a picture, tweeted it out. That's funny.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of Ryback. I just can't get into his character, his style. I'm not like a muscle kind of guy. I'm not a power guy.
Right.
I like the finesse. I like that sort of deal.
If he had speed, I don't know, a little bit more finesse, yeah, it'd be different. Because there's been muscle guys, strong guys like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar that I think are just the coolest.
See, but Brock Lesnar's on a totally different level. Because he'll go strong style, and he's just a fucking badass.
He'll have the mean streak, but then he'll suplex you out of Suplex City.
Suplex City, bitch. But Ryback, I don't know. I think he's too one-dimensional.
Every time I see one of his matches, it's there's one thing that he does that is wrong or fucks up or something like that. And I'm just like,
and even just not that, but like I don't remember the last time seeing a Ryback match and going, that was a good match.
mm-hmm.
Like he hasn't had that exciting match.
Yeah, I like Bray Wyatt, but I don't see this match being any good.
Yeah.
I just have no investment in it. So
and the thing, I love Bray Wyatt. I love his character. But even Bray Wyatt, he doesn't always have great matches.
Yeah.
The best match that I can remember him having was against Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that Royal Rumble? Either Royal Rumble or SummerSlam. I forget which one it was.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great match, but it was because it was against Daniel Bryan. You know, he had a partner to dance, you know,
mm-hmm.
and just make it a great match.
Right.
His stuff against John Cena was okay. It wasn't like incredible.
Right.
The match with the Undertaker, it was good, but it wasn't.
I'd have to rewatch it again to really check it out.
Yeah, it wasn't like, you know, a show stealer.
Yeah.
So the best work that he's done was, you know, Wyatt's and Shield.
Right.
And that you had so many like different styles going on.
And they're all so good.
Yeah. So this match, I mean,
do you think Wyatt's gonna take it?
I think Wyatt should, because
he hasn't. I don't remember the last time he's won at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's been a while, and they're really promoting him to be like a top heel guy,
right.
but he doesn't win.
Right.
How can you be the face of fear if everybody can beat you?
Right,
sort
exactly.
of deal. Which kind of sucks for Ryback if that does happen, because it's going to be another setback for him.
Well, what if he wins dirty?
Yeah, I mean,
but Bray Wyatt's never really been a guy who wins dirty.
The only dirty things he's done is just having the
Wyatt family.
Yeah,
but it's been a while, so.
And you know, technically he's not reunited with them. It's just the two of them. So.
But that'd be cool if they came out.
That would be cool. Bring all three of them back together.
Yeah, like that's how they won. Like that's how Bray wins. Is, you know, let's say Ryback is kicking his ass, and then they, like, I don't know, come out from under the ring or something cool like that.
Mm-hmm. Lights go off.
Yeah. And then and then those guys just take him out, and then there's disqualification. That's probably what would happen. Huh?
Well, if you do something to where if the lights go out and all the action happens and the ref doesn't see what happened,
then he can't disqualify.
And like he's just there pinning him.
Yeah.
And then you see
Rowan on the outside of the ring.
Yeah, they're just like standing there.
Yeah.
Audience could put two and two together.
Right.
But somehow a ref can't.
Right. Well, you know.
But yeah, that could possibly do it. I can see that happening. And then that's an exciting way to end the match, because it's like, you know, you have that oh shit moment of, you know, they're back, they're all three of them together.
And then that's the whole point of the match.
Yeah.
Just to show that, maybe. Or they don't necessarily need to be back together, but they need to be associated with one another.
On the same page again.
Right.
I like that. After that, we have Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus.
Okay.
I think this could be a good match.
Yeah.
For the most part, I enjoyed the match they had at the last pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so much time on that really crappy, like, kiss my arse angle. But the match itself was good, and I think that they have potential to do better. I never count out Dolph Ziggler. I always think that he has a shot to, like, have an incredible match. And Sheamus, he can pull those out, too. Like,
but do you think Dolph's not going to get the W, though? I don't see him getting the W.
I thought that Sheamus was going to win the last one, and Dolph ended up winning. I don't know. I don't know who I think is going to win this one. I can see both ways going. But I think that with coming back as the monster heel, Sheamus, I think, needs the victory more than Dolph does. So I would probably put my money on Sheamus in this situation.
Okay.
But I think this could be a really competitive match. I like the fact that it's just kind of like a straight up match. It's not really any gimmick sort of deal, which is good. But I don't know, like, if Sheamus ends up winning, then they would do, like, one more match? Because then they're one apiece.
They need a rubber match,
yeah. Or would they treat the Elimination Chamber as that end of the feud?
Yeah, maybe.
So I think it makes more sense for him to go over. And then the opposite match of that, as we talked about, that dual team, King Barrett and Neville, which I'm really excited about. Like, after that pre-show impromptu match that they had at the last pay-per-view was great. I I like the style differences of having like the powerful Barrett against the super speedy Neville.
Right. No, that is great.
I think that this one could be a match of the night kind of deal.
I hope so, because they're both kind of on the up, you know?
Yeah.
This could be a cool feud.
This is a feud that will elevate both guys.
I mean, if this ends up being a feud, I hope that, you know, I hope Wade Barrett gets the belt, and then they continue the feud kind of like that.
That'd cool. With Neville going for the belt?
Yeah. He doesn't necessarily need to win it, but he would be a good Intercontinental Champion. Someone who could put on a good match with anyone.
Oh, yeah, and then...
That's kind of like the
That's the point of having that.
Yeah.
Like, you excite the crowd every night, and if you're the champion, then that championship means so much more.
Right.
Like, it's better to have that than have Ryback be the champion.
Yeah,
like, and you're going to have these, you know...
shitty matches.
Yeah, and it's like, well, who wants to care about the Intercontinental belt when the championship matches are always horrible?
Mm-hmm.
But if the matches are guaranteed to be exciting, then you know, he's a good guy to have it on. That's why I think that the mid-card right now, there's a lot of transitions because you have that growing pains of, you know, who I would think would have been the mid-cards a few months ago. The Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins.
They're all in the upper echelon.
Yeah, and that kind of left a gap. Right. So now they have all these guys who are the NXT generation coming up. And they're going to be vying for that mid-card spot. And then you got, like, John Cena, who's holding down the mid-card of just like, all right, I'm going to put a spotlight on you, and now here's your time to shine. Here's your 10 minutes. Like,
it's like match of the night every night. You know?
I mean, that's what's cool. It's like, here you have an opportunity, 10 minutes, go out there, show the world what you got. You're gonna go out there with the company man. So it's make or break it.
Right.
And everybody in the mid card they've thrown against him has pretty much made it. They've made the most of the situation. It's a good transition period, I think. Come SummerSlam, like there'll be a lot more like pieces that are like fitting the puzzle together. Because this is the time of the year where they try stuff out. Like, all right, let's see if this guy, if he can get over.
Whatever catches. Can be led to next year's WrestleMania or this or that. You know? SummerSlam.
But they got to see what's what. In this match, I think, let me see. I think they're at one apiece right now because Neville won the pay-per-view. Barrett won the King of the Ring match. If I would just say, based on the laws of average, if Sheamus ends up beating Ziggler, I say Neville beats Barrett.
Yeah.
If they flip it and Dolph beats Sheamus, then I would say Barrett goes over Neville. But this is a match where I think a win and loss doesn't matter so much. This is just a good like
beginning. This is laying the foundation.
Yeah, like it's really only a month into this feud. This is going to be the third match they've had, but it's only been a month because it started at the last pay-per-view.
Then that shows there's going to be more than 3 matches.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Like, I am not even close to being bored of seeing these guys wrestle.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't really seen... I feel like Wade Barrett, he's been wrestling, but he's been going... He's, like, on and off. Like, some few weeks he'll go where you won't even see him do anything, and then a few weeks he'll be wrestling a lot, you know?
And then when he wrestles, it's usually, like... It's not so many one-on-one matches.
No.
So I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna say Neville on this one because I called Sheamus in the early one. But I just think it's gonna be a great match. That's one I'm really excited for.
I'm gonna say both on that one. I'm gonna say both the heels win. So Sheamus
going double heel.
Wade Barrett.
All right. So what about the heel Rusev against Cena for the belt?
You know, I mean, Cena's gonna. You talked me out of my crazy theory, but I think Cena will keep the belt. That's smart. And then there's going to be a classic clash between Lana and Rusev, and that's the end of their relationship. Yeah. And then that'll take, maybe Rusev will, it's got to be the end of the Cena.
They've already promoted it as being the last match.
Yeah, so.
Which I'm cool with. Like, I don't know, I love the character of Rusev, and I think he has good in-ring work, but I want to see.
What he is like without Lana. His
give him a chance. Let him branch out on his own.
What if he goes for the Intercontinental belt? I mean, I don't think they'd give it to him, and I don't think they should, but he's been working with John Cena for the past, how many months?
Yeah.
It's been like forever.
Yeah,
right?
It seems like forever.
So I think he can go and have a good match with other people. I bet he's learned a lot.
The only thing that I don't like about the way that they book Cena is that they give him every feud is a long feud. Mm-hmm. It's a 3 pay-per-view feud. It was this, and then it was Bray Wyatt, and it's like, I think
and the other guys never win.
Yeah, I think that the reason why I love him being champion is just the week to week, the new faces against Cena.
Yeah.
Because if it's somebody who I haven't seen wrestle Cena, I get really excited.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool. This can be a really cool match. With this match, it's like, okay, the I Quit stipulation is kind of cool, but I've already seen Rusev and Cena, and I haven't been totally wowed. Maybe this is the one that does it.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, if they kept it week to week, that's always exciting. And then when a pay-per-view comes around, you could still be like, I'm open challenge, and people won't know who's going to come out and challenge. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool.
That would be cool.
And then that's when you bring out like a big guy.
And what it feels like you open the pay-per-view with the open challenge.
Right. And then that's when someone like Sami Zayn can come out, where it would be awesome, but it wouldn't be, you know, old hat.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be a Seth Rollins Randy Orton match.
So,
which leads us to
Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose. Main event. I think
it's Fatal 4-Way?
Fatal 4-Way. I think it's really awesome the fact that Dean Ambrose was added to the match. Because Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns 3-way match still would have been really cool. I think that Seth Rollins in that 3-way deal, I think he does really well with that.
Yeah, but I think people are tired of seeing those 3 people. So throwing Dean Ambrose in there, it gives it a whole nother look.
It just injected so much energy into this match.
And that's who everyone's going to be rooting for.
Yeah. Randy Orton is over.
Yeah.
As that like kind of in between kind of face.
They're both kind of the same, where they're in between. They're not. Their faces, like, don't get me wrong, but they're also faces that don't care about anyone else. They're like selfish. They're not for the good. They're not like somebody who's like USA. They're like, I want.
This is about me.
Yeah, I want all the recognition.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean? I find it hard to believe that Seth Rollins won't walk out with the belt.
Yeah.
I think that with everything that they've kind of built towards, like, it's still too soon for him to lose it. I mean, in my eyes, it would be so cool to see Dean Ambrose as the champion.
Yeah.
But it's not his time yet.
If it did happen, we know it wouldn't last.
Yeah.
And I really like what they're doing with Seth Rollins.
They're developing his character so well. Dean Ambrose, they haven't done the development yet. This is like the kind of introduction.
That'd be cool if it was like a kind of a way to get this feud going with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins.
I mean, like, there's so much unanswered from the last feud that they had. There's so many questions still in the air. And we talked about this before in an earlier podcast about how we feel like that's a Rock Stone Cold kind of deal. Where it's like, you could bring that feud back at any time.
Right.
And it's always going to be a natural feud.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, it would be really cool, you know, a few years down the road when Seth's the face and Dean Ambrose is the heel.
And bring it back.
And bring it back, that dynamic, because that's always fun. And with Roman Reigns, I'm rooting for this guy. I hope that he kind of catches fire and gets his own thing, because he has a lot of potential.
Right. I think he's just got to find his own just find himself, you know.
Got to lose yourself in the moment.
Yeah, the music you want. But yeah, I think Roman, I mean, he can be great, but you know, you just can tell he's not as comfortable as some of those other guys. Not with the wrestling factor. That the wrestling's okay, you know.
Yeah.
But it's everything else. He's got the it factor where it's like, oh, this guy's like, I think he's cool, you know, but maybe it's the talking or something. He just hasn't found the right angle yet, I think.
We'll see if he gets there. But, I mean, this being the main event, there has to be something, like, at the end of this.
That's crazy.
They have to have a crazy finish.
So yeah. Well, maybe it's Roman wins the belt, and then Dean Ambrose and Roman start a thing. I don't know.
What if it's Dean that turns?
That's what I was thinking.
Help Seth, and then he like.
And it's those two against Randy
And it's like because everyone always, like, we've been seeing the past few weeks the dynamic of Roman and Dean teaming back up and like having that mini Shield reunion. But what if Dean turns and it's him and Seth?
And it would be perfect because that's another attempt into getting people rooting for Roman. Mm-hmm. You know,
that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, people still wouldn't root for him, but that's another attempt of them be like, hey, this guy needs your help. Root for him. Everyone's picking on him.
Because I would love for the Authority, because right now to me the Authority is one wrestler, Seth Rollins, and that's it. And then you have Kane, who's not really a wrestler anymore in his position. His position is what is it?
I don't know.
Corporate Kane, whatever his position is. Then you have J&J Security, who gets thrown in matches, but they're not taken seriously as wrestlers, you know. Right. I would like it for it to be kind of how like the corporate ministry was. And you have like an actual faction
that can put on matches.
Yeah, and then you would have Seth,
the champion,
Dean. Yeah. If you wanted to, like, you know, if you wanted Big Show to still be in there, I mean, that's fine. But you just build like a little stable behind him.
It could be another thing where like the Authority has the belts too.
All the belts. Yeah. And then that would be like such a great heat moment of like they all come out on Raw the next night, everyone holding the belts, and Triple H and Stephanie just being as smug as possible. Yeah. Like, and then you can have, you know, the revolution of these young guys who want to take over and just, you know, and that's a feud within itself.
And then you have the other side, which will be Roman and Randy Orton and, you know, whatever tag team or this or that. Yeah.
Just call it like the Brass Ring Club or something.
Yeah, something. That'd be so cheesy. It's like the Breakfast Club.
Dun, dun. Hey, hey, hey. So that's pretty much the Payback pay-per-view. It's just such a quick turnaround from Extreme Rules.
Oh yeah.
3 weeks, like it seems like they don't have a lot of time to tell a story, but what they did the past few weeks I thought was good. I think that a lot of the feuds are making sense.
Do you think that lowest Raw rating in however many years was kind of unjust?
I do, because that was my favorite Raw in a while. I just thought there were so many really cool dynamics. It's just that the week before was really bad. So it's like,
people didn't tune in.
They didn't tune in.
That's probably why they made it so good, because the week before was so bad. They're like, we got to pick something.
We got to step our game up.
Because they know exactly. I mean, they keep track of all that.
We also have the NXT pay-per-view coming up pretty soon. Yes. Which I'm hearing that Sami Zayn is going to have clearance to wrestle Kevin Owens.
That's what I've heard on the old interweb.
Yeah, which will be cool. Always excited to see those two lock up. You have the number one contender, Becky Lynch, against the boss, Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
That'll be really good.
What's up with our girl Charlotte?
She's in limbo right now.
I know. They got to bring her in, man. They've been waiting since Mania.
I know. Which I guess it's okay. It's kind of maybe she's getting groomed a little bit, getting ready to go in. But I don't think it's going to be too much longer.
No, I can't. Because I don't know, she's going to be, they got to have a spot open. I mean, there's no like one-on-one Divas matches right now. There's like tag team, whatever. There's no championship matches.
Yeah.
So that's probably what they're going to wait for. Maybe the Bellas win over, you know, that tag team match. And then, because she's still the champion, right?
Who, Nikki Bella?
Yeah.
Nikki Bella's champion, yeah.
So, I mean, and then maybe they try and make her a face or something. And then...
They got to do a just solidified turn. Yeah. Like, they're being a little lazy with that right now.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe Charlotte's that heel that comes out.
You think Charlotte's going to come in as a heel?
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
That's tough. That's tough for her to come in as a heel, because everyone's going to want to cheer her.
Yeah, I know.
So she would have to, like... What if they wait for Paige to come back when Paige is healthy, and then Charlotte comes out and attacks Paige on Paige's first night? That's a good way to get her heat, because everyone loves Paige. And then that would be cool because then that would be a resurrection of an NXT kind of thing.
Right. And that's going to be a good match.
Yeah. So maybe that's the right timing for, because you got to be fair to Flair. That's rule number one.
Hell yeah. If you're going to do it with Flair.
I was watching, I went back because I'd taken a long break from those top 100 matches, and I watched from WrestleMania 8 or 9, maybe it was 8, Macho Man and Ric Flair. With when Ric Flair was like have the superimposed pictures with Miss Elizabeth.
Oh yeah.
And Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon on commentary. Oh my God, they're the best. Yeah. Like I don't care what anybody says. Like I love Jim Ross and the King, but Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan are the best. Yeah. They had just such a natural comedy with each other, and it was very heel face, but it was comical in the way that Heenan was a heel. I think Bobby Heenan is the greatest talent in wrestling history.
Oh wow!
He's a genius. Yeah. Everything that he did was perfect and right. Yeah. But just hearing him on commentary was awesome. And it makes me really want to go back to a lot of the old pay-per-views. Not so much to watch the matches, but to listen to him. Yeah. And all the little jokes that he'd have and the little jabs he'd take on everyone. Yeah. Just so fucking clever with everything.
Perfect.
The Weasel, man.
The Weasel.
Before Pauly Shore.
That's right. That's right.
The Weasel. So is there anything that you've been watching on the network? Anything you've caught up on?
Let's see. No, I mean I haven't been watching anything. No, not really, man. I've been missing out on a lot of stuff. I haven't been. The last thing I watched was a while ago. It was that Booker T 24 thing. We already talked about that.
I've been picking up on some of the older matches. Also with on NXT every week. But I also saw it was Jericho and Shawn Michaels ladder match from No Way Out. I think it was 2000 or no. Was it 2008 maybe? And that was a good feud too. Just the despicable Jericho.
Yeah. When he punches, is that when he punched Shawn Michaels' wife?
I think this was before that. Oh, okay. This was before that happened. But yeah, that feud was just like a classic one too. But yeah, just picking up on zeroing in on some matches here and there.
Yeah. I think the last thing I watched might have been Wembley Stadium.
SummerSlam?
Yeah, I watched it all, but I didn't make it to when I meant to watch the British Bulldog Bret Hart match. Yeah. But I watched the whole thing, and it's really good pay-per-view. But when I was like halfway through Bret Hart and British Bulldog, and I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm not giving this the attention it deserves. So I went to bed. But I forget what else was on there. I think I was texting you when I was watching it.
Was the opening match, was it the Legion of Doom? When they came out on motorcycles?
Yeah. I don't know if it was opening match, but they were in there and they just...
Because that's the two I remember the most from that was the Legion of Doom coming out with that entrance and then the main event, which was incredible.
I think Shawn Michaels goes against some model guy.
Oh, model Rick Martel?
Yeah.
Did the model have Sherry?
No, it was this was before that. It was she was with Shawn.
Okay.
But that was the whole feud. Is that
was over?
She was like
yeah.
And then she faints or something, and they're both like, what are they doing? Like carrying her out or something like that. Something weird. Something weird happened where she fainted.
She was a classic.
Yeah.
Sensational Sherry. Oh, she was so good at everything she did too.
The outfit she wore too was pretty nice.
Pretty provocative.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was provocative and trashy. So it's like perfectly wrestling.
And being like what was that, 91? So I'd have been like 5 or 6 years old. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I still liked it.
Yeah. That was a great SummerSlam. They keep talking about whether or not they're going to take WrestleMania to London. That would just be. I think they would be able to sell out Wembley Stadium. But I think the biggest thing for them is just logistics of like the time difference and pay-per-view and the network and live.
Would you go? Stuff. Would you try and go?
I love any excuse to go to the UK. The UK has been very friendly to the base god, so
I've never been, so maybe we'll have to do that.
Hey man,
it's in the near future. First, I gotta pay off my bill for the last one.
Yeah, you're still on the tab.
It's okay though, slowly but surely.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see about Texas.
Oh yeah.
The thing I'm hearing now too is that Owen Hart might be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. If it's Owen and the Undertaker being inducted, yeah. Who else do you need?
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll see. That's still a ways away.
Yeah,
we still got this pay-per-view coming up in a few days. So with the next podcast, we'll see how correct we were. How many things?
We'll keep tabs and we'll see what unfolds, what surprises, because there's gonna be some surprises.
We'll see when we hook up. We might also have a review of the NXT pay-per-view, depending on when we do it. It'll either be a preview or a review.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll just view it.
Yeah. Hey, live view.
Live feed. Hey, maybe. What are you doing Wednesday? Well, we'll see.
All right.
And then we'll talk a little bit more about the Elimination Chamber once they have more matches solidified. But this has been the Kayfabe Crusaders. You got Base God.
And J-Dub.
Alright guys, be good to each other. Make sure that if you do anything bad, the referee doesn't see.
Oh, that's a good one.